last time you reviewed your fees? Analyzing what you charge and whether an increase is in order should be something you do once a year. If you're always looking for the ideal New Year's resolution, reviewing fees is a perfect choice. That's because early January is typically when PPOs release their allowable fees for the year. Something very important to consider: raising fees isn't just a necessary task in a dental practice, it's a shared responsibility between you and the practices in your area. That's because what you collectively charge in your area affects allowable fees set by PPOs in your area. So put fee review on your calendar, especially if you haven't done it in a while. When you gather with the relevant financial staff in your practice, here's what you need to bring: your standard fee list for the 20 most performed codes, an up-to-date fee analysis from NDAS, which can often be obtained from your contracted PPO representatives. This book from NDAS, or National Dental Advisory Service, provides a list of all the average dental fees charged in your geographical area, likely your zip code and surrounding ones, so you can see where your fees compare. You'll also want to bring fee schedules from your contracted PPOs because you need to see how your fee increases will affect your adjustments based on providers' allowable fees for each service code. Here, for example, is a list of 20 common codes for an actual Midwest practice and the average fees charged in their area. You can see NDAS provides what practices charge in the 40th percentile all the way up to the 95th percentile. For a comprehensive oral evaluation, for example, practices in the 40th percentile charge only $87 for that code and range all the way up to $129 for practices in the 95th percentile. Once you have your own data in front of you, seeing where increases are necessary should be pretty easy. You just need to consider 3 things before you adjust your fees. First, fee increases should be gradual. So for a one-surface anterior composite, this practice charges $170. If they randomly increase that fee to $240, for example, that's going to put them beyond the 95th percentile, and patients will likely notice. The second thing to consider about a drastic fee increase is it's probably beyond providers' allowable fee for that procedure. Let's say you find the allowable fee for that procedure is $185. If you raised your fee to $240, that's just a $55 adjustment every time. So the third thing to consider before raising a fee is what I call the traffic approach. You don't necessarily want to be the fastest driver on the road, but you also don't want to be lagging behind. So look at that anterior composite and what this dental practice did when reviewing this fee. They could see their $170 fee was in the 40th percentile of what practices around them were charging. So the practice raised that fee to $182. They considered this a gradual increase of a few percentage points. They also found it was in the range of the provider's allowable fees, so they'll avoid large adjustments. And finally, that fee puts them in the 60th percentile of what practices around them are charging. So they're flowing with the traffic now, competitive in their area, and not lagging in the slow lane, so to speak. Here's a quick look at how this practice most recently adjusted all of its 20 most performed codes. You can see a general trend of modest increases that keep them competitive in their area. Also remember, this helps to keep those providers honest too. You have to adjust and increase fees based on what's the norm in your area. And if patients protest or question your fees, simply explain to them why you charge what you charge for your services by saying, "Mrs. Jones, it is a high priority for us to maintain the highest standard of care possible for our patients. That means access to the highest quality materials and equipment out there to serve our patients better." That's all you have to say, because it's the truth. So the compass points for fee analysis: review your fees once a year. Bring a list of your 20 most commonly used codes, an up-to-date NDAS fee analysis for your area, and fee schedules from your contracted PPOs. When raising fees, Make the increases gradual. Make sure your new fees are in the ballpark of PPO allowable fees. And remember the traffic approach. You want your fees to be in the same lane as what other practices are charging in your area. You owe it to yourselves and the practices in your area to be charging fairly and competitively for the important treatment you provide.